Hey there, guys. What's up, Cameron? How's it going? Multiple videos in a week. It's really weird. It's almost like we have our shit together. I don't know. But today is Wednesday, and I was really in the mood to talk some wrestling. So today's officially Rassle Wednesday. Don't know if it's gonna be a recurring thing. I don't know. Wednesday might be the day where I feel like talking about some wrestling. So today, I DM'd you a link. It's to the 46th anniversary show that just happened for New Japan Pro Wrestling. The match is Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay. So I want you to watch the match, pause this video, come back and watch the rest of this video, and I want to hear what you thought about the match. So, can't wait for that. Now, personally, I'm not really the biggest fan of Will Ospreay. He's kind of been either hot or cold on him. Sometimes I really enjoy him, sometimes I just am not clicking with it. Sometimes it just, I talk about this a lot, especially in our Fight Choreography video podcast that we did, where there's, doing stuff just for the sake of doing stuff. And sometimes Will Ospreay kind of falls into that camp for me, where I'm just like, I mean, what you're doing is cool, but is it really building or adding anything to, like, the story of the match? So basic, like, historical background here. Kazuchika Okada is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He's basically the top champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's like, the man, the top of the mountain, the king of the mountain. He is the longest reigning IWGP Heavyweight Champion of history. He's over 600 days. He's held the title. Will Ospreay is the Junior Heavyweight Champion. So kind of like in UFC or something like, or boxing, they have different weight classes in New Japan Pro Wrestling. The heavyweights, the junior weights, or junior heavyweights, sorry, which are, the leaner guys who do more of the flippy stuff. Will Ospreay's the junior heavyweight champion. Now, Okada and Ospreay are both part of a group called Chaos, which, weirdly enough, they're the good guys. It doesn't really make sense, but the Chaos, they're the good guys. I don't know why, maybe they just wanted to sound cool. Either way. They're both part of the group, and so for this 46th anniversary show, usually heavyweights and junior heavyweights don't go head to head a lot. They only usually do that in like tag matches. If there's like a multiple man tag match, they usually don't do one-on-one matches between heavyweights and junior heavyweights. So this is really cool. It's something that Okada was like, hey, for the anniversary show, I want to fight Will Ospreay. And usually Okada doesn't, fight guys within his own group. So it's been interesting, this story they've been telling with Okada, where he's the longest reigning champion. He's beaten almost everybody possible, and you can see he's starting to get more frustrated and annoyed with his title defenses. He wants a challenge, because he's gotten kind of cocky and arrogant. Not that Okada's character is really, a classic good guy. I mean, he's a good guy, and he, fights with honor and stuff, but sometimes he's kind of a jerk. Like, let's just say Okada's kind of a jerk sometimes, and his whole shtick is that, he's the rainmaker. He makes it rain. Which sounds really weird when I say it like that. He makes it rain on New Japan. But, I mean, dollar bills fall from the ceiling during his entrance. So, yeah. Will Ospreay, Junior Heavyweight Champion. Kazuchika Okada, Heavyweight Champion. They're both part of the same faction. Same team, Chaos. I loved this match. Like I said earlier, I'm usually kind of hot and cold on Will Ospreay. It just depends night to night. But today, this match, I say today, it wasn't today, but I just watched it today. He came out of the gate, I think. This is kind of like, for me, like a Will Ospreay coming out party, where I was like, oh, shit, I like Will Ospreay. He's super dope. I love this match because Will Ospreay, it seems like, definitely came in with something to prove, especially to Okada. Okada's kind of like his mentor. He's the guy who brought him into Chaos. And so it's like Will Ospreay came in and he's like, I want to show Okada that I'm not just the junior heavyweight champion. I'm not his second. I'm not second to anybody. I'm Will motherfucking Ospreay. I am just as good as Okada is. I am the Okada of my division. It really seemed like, that Will Ospreay had something to prove, and it seemed like Okada during the match was trying to provoke that out of him. There were certain times where he was just laying into Ospreay, and it was almost like he was like, come on, like, I want you to come at me as hard as I'm coming at you. And so it was really great. It didn't feel long. It was like, I think over 30 minutes, but it didn't feel that way. I think the match very well built up to kind of the bigger moments. It didn't start out, all crazy. It kind of started out as a lot of New Japan matches do, with some mat work and stuff like that. But I think that really Ospreay, like in the match, Ospreay's trying to show to Kazuchika Okada. I don't know why I don't just say Okada. I mean, I like Kazuchika Okada. His name's awesome. It's a weird thing to say. But the first part of his name always messes me up. But anyway, Ospreay's trying to show to Okada that he can do everything that he can do, just as good as he can. He's just as good at mat wrestling as he is. He's just as good as the counters and the high flying stuff, and he's just as good at brawling as he is. And that really, there's almost like each section of the match. This is the mat wrestling part. This is this part. This is this part. Each one kind of had a section, and they were equally matched in all of these areas. So it wasn't, Will Ospreay in defeat did not look any less in this. If anything, in defeat in this match, he looked like, hey, if it had gone 5 minutes later, Ospreay might have got him. It was one of those matches where really it was just a flip of a coin of who won. I think the only reason, Okada, in the story of the match, won was just that Okada had that little bit extra in the tank. But you could see kind of his tendencies coming out a little bit, because as he was in this match, there were points where he probably could have ended it, but he didn't. Either it was because he was trying to teach Ospreay a lesson, or because he wanted a definitive, like, I beat you, like, no questions asked, I beat you. Because there were times where he'd hit the tombstone and he'd pull him back up to do the Rainmaker, which is, Rainmaker is that kind of spinning lariat that Okada does. That's his finishing move. And so I think that was this thing where Okada slowly, his kind of ego is starting to get the best of him. And soon, I don't know how soon, but eventually that ego is going to catch up to him and he's going to lose that title. I think that's just the long story that they're telling with each of these matches. He's getting more and more cocky and more, not dangerous, but he's not playing it safe. He's definitely taking a lot of risks and taking a lot of chances that he probably maybe shouldn't be taking. But I loved this match. I came out of this match liking Will Ospreay a lot more. I felt like he told a great story, and it wasn't just, hey, look at me, I'm a cheeky British guy, ooh, because that's kind of what he is. He's Spider-Man. He's a cheeky British Spider-Man. But yeah, I loved this match. I thought it was really great. I think I might do more of these. I'm not sure. I love talking about wrestling, and I like giving Cameron homework. So I'm hope that the main thing I was curious is why, Cameron, I wanted you to watch the match before you watch the rest of this video, was how much of the story that I kind of brought in, how much of the story you were able to get not knowing any of that. How much, if the match was able to show and kind of tell you the story that the commentators and kind of, the matches before and after kind of tell you, that the promotion is telling. I was curious to see if the match just itself with Japanese commentary, just what those two guys are doing in the ring, tells you the story that I think is being conveyed. So that's everything. I think I might do more of these. I think if I'm going to do a next series of like wrestling related videos, I want to look at the Okada Kenny Omega series of matches. So anyway, Cameron, hopefully you get to watch the match, you get to watch this video and tell me what you thought about it, if you gleaned any of the stuff that I got from the match, not knowing any information around it, and if you hate me for giving you 30 minutes worth of homework. So I will see you in like 2 weeks, and then you can pile drive me there. That sounds slightly suggestive. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you later.